And this is not just a regular facial. Like, there is like, I felt like almost like a spiritual element to it, like the breath work, the body work, the release. So I guess like my question is, where does that come from, where you're able to kind of mix so many worlds together? My name is Naima, and I'm here today in Hoboken at Skincuress. We're here with the amazing founder, Jill Colon, and we're here today to learn a little bit about her story, her background, and how Skincuress came to be. So my first question is, how did you start?
So I ended up starting 2 years ago, and what made me start was I just knew that there was like a huge gap between just seeing not only like just massage or just doing like deep cleanings or like corrective skincare, and I really wanted to mix both. And also I really understood that what I did was really unique, and working for someone else wouldn't really give me the privilege of exercising the differences in what kind of facials I could provide. So I ended up just going forward and opening up Skincuress, however you want to pronounce it. Everyone pronounces it super different. So
how would you pronounce it?
I like saying Skincuress because it's cute, but Skincuress is fine too. The spiritual part came after I became an esthetician. I didn't really believe in any of that stuff because I grew up like super Christian. It was weird because for me, like a lot of that stuff was like too woo-woo, or like growing up, like it wasn't really accepted. So one day I had a patient come in, and I could definitely like feel how distraught she was, and we both just ended up crying together because like we could both like feel like the energy in the room and how much like release she ended up getting. But then afterwards I kind of just went full throttle, and I really wanted to understand what was happening, not only on the spiritual level, but really the scientific level, because I am a very like logical person, and I want to understand like what is happening in that specific aspect. So basically I'm feeling what you're feeling, and my nervous system is actually matching your nervous system. So because of that, like when you understand things like that, and when you're able to read the room, your nervous system is always going to react first. So when you have that kind of mentality towards it and really understand what's going on in that aspect, it really helps to further the experience, because it really helps to create a really safe space.
It's very like holistic approach. I noticed the book, The Body Keeps the Score. It's an amazing book. I don't really remember much of it because I read it like during COVID. But my like main takeaway from the book was the fact that like we really hold on to so much is stored in our bodies, and even I think he mentions like how generationally things also pass down, and we're equipped with so much knowledge. How do you blend the past, the history, the knowledge of that with what you know now, but also like what is passed down to you?
Damn, that's a really hard question. But that's a loaded question. I would say that's what makes me so obsessed with what I do, because it's still evolving. I'm still learning, because there's so much to unpack about how I grew up, how my family grew up, and making sure that, you know, our next generations like have a different outlook on life, and they think about everything not only instinctually, but just being more free to be able to do anything that they want. And then here, how I process that is everyone is always going through something, regardless of background, class, or financial situation. Like, it does not matter. You're always going to be going through something. That's just life. And unpacking that is just, for me, how I go about it is because I really understand what I went through, and I understand that doesn't really affect me as much, but I still have and recognize those feelings. So when I feel it in someone else, it's gives them space to open up and be vulnerable.
It's a mirroring again.
Yeah. Everything that other person is going through on my table, and I can sometimes like ask questions like, hey, look, like this is what I'm feeling, or this is what I felt at the moment. Sometimes even if we're going through like the facial, like they can feel those overwhelming feelings, but they don't really know what they're feeling or what they're looking for, because they're past listening to their body. Like their brain is somewhere else all the time, because you're constantly just thinking about what to do next or what you should be doing at this moment, and it's ignoring what you're currently feeling. So when you have the space to really feel and process what your body's feeling, and if you don't know, like I like to sometimes express like, hey, look, like this is, and that even helps like open up the floodgates sometimes. But it is very situational and depends on the person.
I will also admit, like, I started tearing up during my facial, and I kept seeing like the word joy. I used to sing when I was in choir.
Really?
But like the feeling I felt when like with the release, with the massage, is like joy, sing, like kind of like inner child almost, like play, like just let go. So it felt like therapy in as much as it was like obviously healing to my skin, healing to my body, but also my mind and my spirit. What are some of like the biggest, I guess, misconceptions people make when starting like their skincare journey?
I would say with skincare, the biggest misconception is that what works for you was not going to work for someone else, or what someone else does not work for you. Just because you see something that someone is using doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work for you, just because you have the same texture, skin color. Like lifestyle plays a huge part in what is going to work for you and what isn't, as well as how sensitive your skin is or has become sensitized. And those are all things that we have to really think about regardless of our background. Like for me, I had a lot of acne, and that was also one of the biggest things that drove me to really love skincare. And I would just have so many different steps, and at one point I know I had like a maybe 12-step skincare routine.
Okay.
And I really destroyed my barrier. Okay. Honestly, I just kept putting exfoliants on top of exfoliants to try to get rid of it, because it's so emotionally, like it takes away from you wanting to do anything. Like when I first started Skincuress, like I had so much acne. And luckily, because I'm very skillful in what I do, I didn't have to show my face. I was so scared of showing like how I looked, because I know that was not something that someone would want to come in and, you know, even though it is relatable, it's not something that you would like want your esthetician, to have, just because it's really hard when you're going through it and seeing that, oh, okay, like she's in the same field as me, like she hasn't overcome that yet, so how is she going to help me? And that really depends on the person. But to me, that was something that really affected me.
I feel like during COVID, it seemed like how you said, the 9-step or the 12-step routine, it was so hard to keep track of like, okay, what should we really be doing? What should we not be doing? What inspired your move from Union to Hoboken?
That was really hard, because at that point I already had a really big following, and I was really thinking about, okay, like where should I go? Because I could have gone anywhere, but I really wanted Hoboken because it's really close to the city. And so I chose Hoboken just because I know that there was going to be like so much, like many more opportunities. And I really love working with so many different like diversity and just like different backgrounds, and I love working with so many different types of people. It really opens your eyes to like how people think, what they like to do, and like what your motive is. So for me, like I love women who are super high achieving and who are just like me and you, and we're going after what we want regardless of whatever is transpiring like in our day-to-day lives. And the emotional aspect of it, like I've made so many amazing friends, and I don't even know how I can describe, like I don't even know what I'd do if I didn't have that. So I think that's one of the biggest things.
So the community aspect too.
The community. Definitely the community.
And you're building. And it's beautiful to
Thank
see.
you.
It's beautiful to see. community. Speaking of community, what kind of impact do you hope to have here in the community of Hoboken, the greater community of New Jersey, et cetera, et cetera?
The thing that I want you to take away the most is, especially the biggest impact, is regardless of what you're going through in life, like if you have a minute to just really process what's going on so that you can go ahead and get through what you have to do right now.
Absolutely. So being present.
Yeah, being present, at least taking a couple minutes a day or once a week or something that helps you acknowledge that, okay, like I'm not necessarily doing the best right now, but like let me process what's going on and then so I can move forward. So that's like one of the biggest takeaways.